Hey everyone, we're back again 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row talking about, we're talking about the Apple Creator Studio, and Final Cut Pro 12 was announced. So Final Cut Pro 12 is coming out in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. And there are some features that are going to be in that new version. For both versions, there's two versions of Final Cut Pro: the subscription version and the standalone version, which most of us already have. Let's put some comments up already. Greetings from sunny but chilly Iowa. It's nice here today. More information so soon. Well, I'm online and I'm seeing all these people making comments about this and about that, and I've got some clarification about what's going on with Final Cut Pro. Matthew, that is a great, nice compliment. I really appreciate it. That was my band. The music is my band, something that I wrote. The title of the song is called Lightning Strikes Twice. That's the name of the song. And that's the theme music for the Final Cut TV Live. And hello from Quebec today, and greetings from Jamaica as well. We already got a lot of people watching live. So there's a couple of things that are going on. Number one is some people from, what was it? Let me get the exact things going on here. ProApps product marketing team, from the ProApps product marketing team, have answered questions about the Apple Creator Studio versus the standalone version of Final Cut Pro, which most of us that are watching this show have, I'm sure. So they've answered some questions officially, publicly, and I've got some information that confirms exactly what they're talking about. And so it's all good news. It's all good news for people who have the standalone version of Final Cut Pro. I keep seeing these some of these Macintosh places that do Macintosh news saying that the subscription is going to be holding back, how did they put it? Major features or something like that. They're completely wrong. Any Macintosh place that says that is completely 100% wrong. There is no holding back of any major features or AI features or anything like that. Premium features, that's what they say. I keep seeing, especially the same one, I think it's Macintosh, keeps saying holding back premium features. They are not holding back premium features. That is completely false, and you didn't do your homework. They're holding back some. They're not holding back. You're going to have to subscribe to get some premium content. Premium content means fancy titles, fancy templates, stuff like that, or access to what would normally be a subscription service, maybe video clips, maybe photographs. There is no premium features being held back. Both versions of Final Cut Pro. This version over here is the subscription version. This version over here is the standalone version. They will be 100% feature parity. 100% feature parity between these two. Feature parity, not content. Some of the content's going to be over here. Let me see, which one am I doing? The subscription is going to have some more content. That's going to be premium titles, maybe some premium transitions, etc., etc. Both versions of Final Cut are 100% feature parity. All the new features coming with the subscription are also coming to the standalone version. Period. And the one, Apple considers us their loyal customers, okay? They consider us, they know that we're loyal customers. It's because of us that Final Cut Pro has existed for 15 years. I really kicked over an ant bed with the icon post in your group. It was shared. A bunch of people have different opinions. People, of course, they have different opinions. I'm not a big fan of the icons, especially mainly the Final Cut Pro icon. It's just like a purple something or other. That icon doesn't, for the subscription side. The Final Cut Pro side so far is still the same. So it's only for the one side. I'm not a big fan of the subscriptions. Premium content. Before 2 weeks from today is going to be Final Cut Pro 12. Period. 2 weeks from today, Final Cut Pro 12. Both the standalone version and the Apple Creator Summit version. So you want to back up your version of Final Cut Pro and any important libraries before 2 weeks from today. There's no reason not to do it now. I also back up my Mac OS just in case I need to do that. You can do that with Time Machine if you want to. I do it both Time Machine and another backup. Backup, backup, backup. Why don't they have to announce this good news at launch? Well, I don't know at launch. I have the answer to your question, Matthew. I would be curious if you can share Final Cut Profile seamlessly with the original and new, since there will be 2 icons now. So a total of 4 apps with Final Cut Motion. Yes. One of the questions I asked were the Final Cut Pro libraries from the standalone version and the subscription version 100% exchangeable. Yes, you'll be able to exchange libraries from the standalone version and the subscription version. They will be 100% exchangeable. You can exchange back and forth without any issues. So basically what that means is the 2 versions of Final Cut Pro are identical, other than the fact one is a subscription service and one is standalone. 100%. I've got that officially. So I have to download 2 separate apps, especially if I want to use a subscription version. You already have the one version, right? You already have the standalone version. I do. 11.2. You'll have to download the Apple Creator Studio app. You have to download that app, and that app takes care of all the other apps. Don't they remember Final Cut Pro launched in 2011? This is nothing like that, even though it may seem like that a little bit. Hi from the Dominican Republic. Thank you for tuning in from the Dominican Republic. Absolutely. Make sure you back up your version of Final Cut Pro. That's the main thing to do. You have 2 weeks to do it. Back up your version of Final Cut Pro. Back up any important libraries. You don't have to back up your media. I keep my media external, so I don't even start an edit without backing up my media. At least once. The more important it is, I'll have 2 or 3 backups of my media before I start editing anything. So my media is external. The only library I have to back up is a small megabytes sized file. I don't have to back up humongous ballooning projects that are terabytes big libraries because I keep my media external. I don't store it inside of Final Cut, and this is one of the reasons. I can back up my libraries very easily because they're small. I'll be backing up the old iLife apps in my backups. I don't know what's going on with iLife. That's a good point. Back up everything. You use Time Machine or something. Backups mandatory, and I suspect macOS 26.3 will be released about the same time. Yeah, you want to back up all this stuff. I don't know how to back up my OS on my phone. I don't know how to do that. But so the reason I came back on today was because I've got clarification on some things, some of the major things, very specifically clarifications. Number one is both versions of Final Cut Pro are going to be, there's a difference because one's a subscription, but the libraries between these two versions of Final Cut are 100% exchangeable. You can exchange back and forth without any issues. That's official. I can just tell you it's official. What about iMovie and GarageBand? I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with those two. They're not ProApps, are they? So one of the things that I've seen online is a few people are saying, oh, they're not going to have a Final Cut Pro Creator Summit. It's going to be an Apple Creator Studio Summit. That makes 0 sense. 0 sense. I'll tell you why. The ProApps in the Apple Creator Studio, Final Cut Pro, Motion, Logic, and Compressor are already covered in the Final Cut Creative Summit. They had Logic last time. They have Motion sessions. They have Final Cut Pro sessions. They don't specifically have compressor sessions, but they're already covered. The ProApps out of that bundle are already covered in every Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. They're already covered in the Creative Summit. So what are they going to add to if they did it the Apple Creator Studio? They'd add Keynote, they'd add Pages, they'd add Numbers. Don't be ridiculous. They're not going to add that stuff. The ProApps are already covered with the Final Cut Studio. With the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. They're already covered. They're not going to change the name. Changing the name doesn't mean anything. I don't want to go to a Keynote Creative Summit. I don't want to go to a Pages Creative Summit. But I've seen some people say, oh, they're going to change it. They already covered the ProApps. They already covered. Last time they had a big thing about Logic Pro. Last time they had Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro. They had Motion sessions as well as Final Cut Pro sessions. They don't have any compressor sessions. That's a much smaller app, Pro App, but they already cover the ProApps in the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Maybe they will eventually give us a roadmap. Are you familiar with recent times where a rep answered questions? They answer questions at the Creative Summit. We get a private Q&A with them. As far as a roadmap, not specifics. They just say, the last time I asked them, here's what I asked them last time. First off, I thanked them for Final Cut Pro 11. That's the first thing I did. Then I said, so when Final Cut Pro 10 came out, there was talk of a 10-year, I used the term roadmap, which was not accurate. Something else was said by Richard Townhill. And for a 10-year whatever. And I said, is there going to be a similar 10-year roadmap for Final Cut Pro 11? I said, are we going to see Final Cut Pro 12 in 6 months? That's exactly what I asked them. Well, we didn't see it in 6 months. We saw it in 18 months. Is it 18 months? Let me see. Yeah. Less than 18 months. We saw Final Cut Pro 12. I said 6 months. They didn't do it in 6 months. They did it in 12, 13, 14, 15, about 16 months. So they jumped from 11 to 12 in 16 months. Now, there's a lot of steps missing between those two. There's no 11.3, 11.4, 11.5, 11.6, et cetera. They went from 11.2 and they're going right to 12. Like I said, the numbers don't mean what they used to mean anymore. So as far as giving us a roadmap, not specifics. They never do that. You are a heavy guy to have access to all those very important points. The only missing funny option would have been your famous phone ring joke. Well, we'll worry about that another time. We're just here. I'm here to answer questions today. Your questions mostly about the standalone version. I don't know about the other apps specifically. I mean, I was looking forward to giving Logic Pro a trial. I already have Final Cut Pro Compressor Motion paid. Keynote Pages numbers free with OS. Exactly. So you can give it a try for 30 days for free. You can sign up and get a 30-day free trial. And then you can always cancel in that 30 days, but that before you charge for it, and that'll give you a free trial. And so the 90-day free trial for Final Cut Pro, from what I understand, isn't available anymore. Not wanting to start a subscription for just Logic Pro. If you start a subscription, you also get free content. From what I understand, this is what I was told. Premium content, which are like premium titles, premium templates, that are not going to be available unless you subscribe. I have to ask another question about that. I'll have to come back on Saturday. Bye-bye Final Cut for me. Why? If you already have Final Cut, are you going to throw it in the trash? You don't have to subscribe to anything. You're going to get Final Cut Pro 12 next Wednesday. You're going to get Final Cut Pro 12 next Wednesday, the same version as in the subscription. No cost. No cost. I think some new Final Cut Pro tools are in Final Cut Pro. You have to see that. Beat detection. Beat detection is in the new version of Final Cut Pro 12. However, you cannot adjust the beats in Final Cut Pro. If something is off, you can't adjust it. It's locked. Logic, you can adjust things to be on the beat or just slightly ahead of the beat or a little bit off the beat. You can't do that in the version that's in Final Cut Pro, that's coming in Final Cut Pro 12. It's not adjustable, so that kind of makes it, Premium content is the addictive element. I agree. If the premium content is phenomenal, explosive titles, great dynamic titles, great effects and stuff, I would be tempted to subscribe just for that. If it's premium and it's going to be updated on a regular basis, I'm thinking I would do it just for the premium content if it's that good. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm against subscription for Final Cut Pro. But if the premium content is really, really good, I'm tempted. I'm saying, well, I got subscriptions now. That was the thing. The premium content would have to be really, really good, and it would have to be updated. The premium content, not just give it to us once and that's all you get. No, it'd have to be updated. Then I would be tempted. So that comment is very good. Premium content is the addictive element. Absolutely. I'll be subscribing. I just want them to continue to invest the apps and bring text-based editing. So the standalone version of Final Cut and the subscription version of Final Cut are going to be the same, except for the premium content, the extra titles and stuff we're talking about. They're going to be the same. They're going to be developed the same. I presume the releases are going to be on the same day, et cetera, et cetera. Perhaps subscribe and download the extra material and then unsubscribe. I think the material, the extra elements, are going to be tied to an active subscription. So in other words, if you use these titles in your project and you unsubscribe, those titles will no longer be in your project. It'll just be like unavailable. So if you export a video with them, yes, the video is not going to change, but the subscription is going to be tied to use those elements ongoing. I'm pretty sure it's going to be tied to that subscription. You won't be able to subscribe for 1 month and then try to use them the next month and they'll be there. No, they won't. Any project you have them in, no, they won't be there. They won't be there. So Ken says, I would absolutely pay monthly for continuing development. Well, we have continuing development on both versions of Final Cut. Okay? Both the standalone version and the subscription version. There's ongoing developments. It's exactly the same. Both versions are getting the same development, or getting the exact same ongoing development. And here's the other thing. The subscription you're paying is not 100% going to Final Cut Pro. Okay? If you pay $12.99 a month, it's not all going to Final Cut Pro. It's going to Logic. A little bit's going to Compressor. A little bit's going to Motion. Keynote has also premium content. So there's going to be some templates that are available in Keynote. It's going to the iPad version of Final Cut Pro. It's going to the iPad version of Logic Pro. It's not all going to the Final Cut Pro team. So yeah, you're right, Ken. $12 a month is nothing for a working pro, other than the fact that for 15 years, we paid $2.99 and that's it. So to adjust those two paradigms, once again, you're going to get the same version of Final Cut Pro no matter what version you have. It's the extra, it's a premium content that's going to be enticing. And I pay for premium content now, sometimes, a subscription. Okay? I pay a subscription for Ecamm Live, which I'm broadcasting with. So I pay a subscription for that because here's the main reason. Number one, it's a great app. Number two, I've been using it for 4 years, 5 years. I've been streaming with it for a long time. The main thing is I send Ecamm Live one master file, this file that you're watching. Ecamm Live spits it out to Facebook, spits it out to YouTube, and spits it out to X. That's what I'm paying for. They're giving me multi-platform, and it's seamless. I just give them the one file, send them one file, they take care of the rest. They log in and they take care of the rest. But I understand it depends on that premium content. If that premium content is enticing, I'm going to be saying I might subscribe myself. So we'll have to see. Now, it's a steal if you're a college student or a professor. Maybe I'll go back and teach at at the college I used to teach at, and I'll get it for $29 a year. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I stay with Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Studio, LumaFusion as long as I can stay out of subscriptions. I completely understand. Completely understand. I have all those as well, and I use all of them. Apple is miles away on premium content compared to Motion VFX and others. Let's wait for the real laugh of Creator Studio. So you're talking about the existing titles and stuff. This is supposed to be several steps above that. This is premium content. Premium, not more of the same. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. I already export scene elements in ProRes 444 that use third-party plugins now and re-import them. Very smart. I share libraries with another owner who doesn't have the same third-party plugins. That's a great way to do it. That's a great way to do it. That's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. Wonder if premium content's coming from Motion VFX. That's what I suspect. I suspect there's a third-party element to this premium content. And maybe some will be included with the subscription. Maybe there'll be an option to subscribe to even more inside the app now. I was hoping we would get a paragraph transcript for searching or reading versus just searching a word. I think it's phrase, searching for phrases, which include a word. So it'll be a group of words, which includes like a keyword. That's what they have. We'll have to see how that works out. I think this is the first version of that, which I'm grateful for. Now, the visual search is pretty cool. I mean, if that works, it'll go analyze your footage. It'll look for a dog. It'll look for a cat. Speaking of cat. No, let me see. That's not working. Let me see. What didn't I do here? Oh. I'll be right back. I didn't turn on my cat cam. I had to go turn on the cat cam since I said dog or cat. Take a minute. There we go. There we go. There's the cat cam. So if Final Cut Pro goes through and searches all your videos and it spots 2 cats, supposedly visual search will pick up that there's cats, and you'll be able to search for cat, and you'll be able to find it. That's coming in a standalone version. Phrase search, visual search, whatever that other thing was from Logic Pro, Beat, whatever that was. That's the other thing. Subscription gets the whole suite, including the iPad version. Listen, the more I look into this, I would not pay $4.99 for the iPad version of Final Cut Pro. Not interested. If you got Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro, you're already paying $10. If you subscribed to them previously, you're paying $10. For $3 more, you get all the apps. It's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal. You could also unsubscribe. Do it for a month. Use your standalone version for a while. Come back and get whatever. Anything applied to a project while you're paying subscribers should permanently remain on the timeline. It's ridiculous for a completed project to be undone. It's not a completed project undone, but the elements that you pay a subscription for will just be like, that's what a lot of them do. A lot of the plugin manufacturers do. Export a version of that timeline. In ProRes, they're not going to affect that. It'll be burned in. But the actual plugins, I'm sure they're going to be tied into an active subscription. The premium ones. Do I like that? See, you're not buying the plugins. You're just paying for a monthly subscription for that premium content, whatever the heck it is. We'll find out in 2 weeks. If it's premium enough, I have to change my mind, which I'm allowed to do, and I would actually subscribe as well. If it's premium enough, because I'm paying for other plugins here, left and right, here and there. We'll have to see. We have bypass premium. We have bypass premium for a while using plugins and template extensions. I saw someone say Apple TV was once $4.99, now it's like $41. No, it's $13 a month. $13 a month. That's ridiculous. No, it's not $40 a month. Who the heck's paying? And here's the thing. So it's $12.99 a month for Apple TV. They have a lot of great stuff. It's one of my favorite subscriptions. I don't pay the $12.99, whatever the heck it is. They had a special over Christmas. You get it for 6 months for $5.99. Done. I got Apple TV for 6 months for $5.99 a month. Absolutely. And I can still cancel it. It's not $40 a month, Matthew. It's $12.99. It looked like it was searching the transcribed captions. Image search by description will be powerful. Right. Both of those are welcome additions. The other one from Logic, the fact that you can't adjust it after the fact. The promising thing is it'll be easier for young creators to get into using Final Cut Pro, but that was why they introduced the iPad version, so. Apple, bring back Randy Ubelos. Make Final Cut great again. I would pay $149 towards Go Fund Randy starter. Give us 3 more years of your life, Randy. That's very funny. I'm glad that Apple Final Cut Pro team is moving. Subscription model was a bad surprise to me. It was a little shocking yesterday. Thank God the standalone versions will keep as it is. I hope to learn more in 2 weeks. Yes, we'll learn more, but I can tell you directly that the things that I've told you are absolutely accurate. Absolutely accurate. What makes me so anti-subscription is when apps stop working after subscription end instead of version to stop, update, Apple, Adobe, subscription model at the moment. Yes, but your standalone version of Final Cut Pro continues to work. It's just some of the premium content. If there's premium content in the subscription, some of this premium content, it's titles, maybe transitions, maybe some templates or something. They're going to be tied to your subscription. So suppose you put this stuff you subscribe for 1 month, you put some of this stuff in a couple of projects, used it, export full quality versions of those, unsubscribe the next month. You want to change something with that stuff in it, resubscribe for a month, make your changes, export that version, unsubscribe if you want. That's fine if you want to do it that way. Apple confirmed that you cannot export the generated transcripts as a text file. That's correct. That's correct. You cannot export the generated transcript as a text file or that CSV file. That's correct. And you can with DaVinci Resolve. With their transcriptions, you can export a text file. So I'm not sure what's going on. I don't see why they couldn't pay Motion VFX something to make stuff, or even people like Guy Justine or Marquis Brownlee. Motion VFX is a professional plugin maker. The other two are YouTubers. I'm not interested in either one of theirs plugins or whatever. It just doesn't interest me. I want professional level. The premium content may indeed be made by a third party. It may indeed be tied to a subscription to a third party. Don't know. We'll find out. I don't see myself buying a new iPad. I already own 2 obsolete iPads that can't run Final Cut Pro, can't even run Stream Deck mobile, okay? Premium titles, transitions, filters, templates, and generators, very, very possibly. I'm sure titles, for sure, and I think templates. So if it's really that premium, I'm going to be tempted to subscribe, not for Final Cut Pro, just for the premium content, if it's premium. So we'll have to see how that goes. SRT files are editable as text. I regularly need to remove the font tags from them. Okay, that's good to know. That is good to know. Let's put some thumbs up here. So we've got the major clarifications that I wanted. Leave my Final Cut Pro alone. Make it the same as a subscription. 100% the same. The app may not be 100% the same, but it's effectively 100% the same. You can exchange libraries from one to the other. You can exchange libraries. Now, here's the thing. If you created a library in Final Cut Pro before Final Cut Pro 12, I'm sure you're going to have to update your library for Final Cut Pro 12. Back up your libraries. This is exactly why I do external media. My libraries are megabytes in size. My project can be terabyte in size, but my media is external. I have that backed up on separate drives. The library file itself, which is the best way to back up your libraries in Final Cut Pro, it's much better than XML. My libraries are megabytes, 10, 20, 30, maybe 40 megabytes, because I keep my media external, so I can back the libraries up very easily. But regardless of that, back up your versions of Final Cut Pro. Back up your version of Final Cut Pro and back up any library file that's really important. It's like if you're working on it. Back up. You have 2 weeks. Don't tell me after 2 weeks, oh, I updated my version of Final Cut Pro and this plugin doesn't work anymore. Back up your version of Final Cut Pro. You can always launch that version of Final Cut Pro and reopen that library if you can do it now. How do you think the transcript will work? Well, you have to run captions first. You know that setting in Final Cut Pro where it says do things on import? There'll probably be a checkbox that says, go over the transcripts when you import it. It'll be an automatic setting. And I'll probably keep that on. I don't do background rendering, but I'll probably keep that on. I don't do any of the other checkboxes in Final Cut Pro, but I'll probably keep the transcript. It'll probably be transcript and the visual, probably the same scan. I'll go through your media. It'll probably do it in the background, hopefully. The checkbox to exclude markup in SRT files is non-functional in my experience. Very, very interesting. What will happen to great guys like Final Cut Pro, Brad West, etc., who make great plugins, work for Apple? No, they'll keep on doing their own stuff. Buying their plugins is not going to... The plugins that I buy from Ripple Training. I buy from my friend Brett from Brett FX. I buy from Lumberjack Systems, our friends Philip and Greg. And there's another Leno FX. I buy a lot of their plugins. And I have standalone versions of some Motion VF. CoreMelt. CoreMelt as well. They have some really cool templates. Our friend Roger Bolton. And then I have some Motion VFX and I have some FX Factory. Those are all standalone. No subscriptions for any of that stuff. Okay, no subscriptions for any of those plugins. You pay for them. You can use them whenever you want. Okay, so that's what I have right now. Final Cut makes self-backups of the libraries. Once you update your library, it's going to change from Final Cut Pro 11 to Final Cut Pro 12. Back it up if it's important to you. And your version of Final Cut Pro. I know it creates backups. I don't trust them. I use backups for Final Cut Pro. Much more customized. It's a $20, $19 app on the App Store. Completely customizable. When I'm working on an important project, I can make project backups. I can make library backups. I can call them when I want. I can do it when I want. I'm not waiting for the automatic feature in Final Cut Pro. I've seen that fail too many times. I would back up my Motion templates folder as well. Yes, that absolutely. Who in the heck knows what Final Cut Pro 12 is going to throw in there and mess things up? Look at you, how generous you are. You're just doing a great job giving me thumbs up there. Absolutely. And don't forget to subscribe here on the YouTube channel. You'd appreciate what I'm doing. Do a subscription. Some of the people are new. Absolutely. Motion VFX titles look great, but they leave the title placeholder in place rather than delete them, like Final Cut native titles are very problematic for tweaking opacity, refuse to change them. Okay, have used Final Cut Motion VFX for 8 years. I have as well, but only the standalone plugins. I don't do any subscriptions. Upbeat Music Library and SFX, safe for YouTube use, are authorized if project uploaded before ending subscription. Right. That's what I'm saying. Thank you very much. Look at you people. You're just doing great. Lots of thumbs up. We have 70 people watching, something like that live, or 60 some. Fantastic. A lot of people on X as usual. Yeah, so the thing is, if the content is here, if the premium content is like titles and effects and transitions, and they're really premium, thank you. And they're really premium, and they're going to be updated throughout the year, I would pay the subscription just for that. I'm not paying for Final Cut Pro. I'm paying it just for the premium content. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm against paying subscription for Final Cut Pro. I don't mind paying the Final Cut Pro team for a new version of Final Cut Pro if it's a big enough update. Don't mind that at all. So we'll have to see. But anyway, does that make you feel good? The standalone version of Final Cut is going to be exactly the same. You'll be able to exchange libraries with the subscription version, back and forth. No problem, 100% compatible. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I teach up at the local college, so maybe if I might pitch a new course up there, and if I pitch a new course up there, or if I take a few classes, whatever, maybe I'll get the cheaper version and do that. But I don't even care if the content is premium enough. That's the whole thing. I have a weird Mac OS Sequoia bug to report. Active application will periodically lose focus spontaneously. Affects keyboard control of Final Cut Pro. So I've found if I keep Final Cut Pro running and I go away from it and go to Safari or something, a lot of times Final Cut Pro, the memory will go through the roof. You have to stay focused on Final Cut Pro. But that's been that way for years. It's like a memory leak or something, and it'll lock everything up sometimes. Other times it's okay. But if I go away from focus to Final Cut Pro, I've seen that happen multiple times. Without breaking any secrets or your contacts, are they happy to give clear answers to us about our worry? Yes. Not only that, but let me see what I can say. They called us their loyal customers. They know that we're loyal to Final Cut Pro, and they absolutely appreciate that. What's the chance that Apple Loops, etc., in Logic will be available in Final Cut? I would be surprised. Maybe some of them will be. But you're working with loops, though. Logic is so much better. I mean, it's so much better. Logic is a digital audio workstation. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but it's made for working with music and audio. So Logic is superior to Final Cut when it comes to working with audio. It just is. It has all the features we need. It's got a mixing board. It's got channel strips. It's got third-party plugins that work really, really well. It's incredible app. So we'll see. Try, when the subscriptions come out, you can try it for a month for free. It's really nice to see you, Rich. I'm glad, but also a bit disappointed. Do you feel the same way? Yesterday, I did. Today, once I found out that both versions of Final Cut are be exactly the same, they are not holding any features back from the standalone version that we have in regards to the subscription version. Both versions of Final Cut are going to be the same. No features are being held back. The only thing that's changing, the only thing in a subscription, you get all the iPad versions. You get Pixelmator Pro on the iPad. You get Final Cut Junior on the iPad. You get Logic Pro on the iPad. You're getting premium content. You don't have to subscribe to it for every month. Just first off, try it out. Try it out for 1 month free. You probably have to sign up, and if you don't cancel the subscription, you'll be charged the $12.99 for the following month. But you can do that on your phone. You can do that on your phone. You can cancel the subscription. You can sign up for the Final Cut Apple Creator Studio for $12.99 a month. You get 1 month free. Try it out, and then if you cancel before the end of the month, they won't charge you the $12.99. If you like it, you keep it. $12.99 month to month. If you're going to use it, get it for let me see. What is that? Let me see something here. So yeah, the yearly is $129. So you're saving because otherwise it'd be $155.88. So if you think you're going to keep it for a year, you're saving it by doing $129. I read that a lot of Logic filters will become available in Final Cut Pro. We already have a lot of Logic filters in Final Cut Pro. You're talking about beat detection, I think. That's coming over. Maybe some other ones. But we already have a lot of Logic filters in Final Cut Pro, a whole bunch of them. As a teacher, I can get it for $3 per month, but I will only consider if the premium content is worth my while and will not know until after the release. Yeah, that's fine, but you get a month free. You get a month trial for free. And the other thing is, I think this is USA colleges. I think. We'll find out. I don't know if it applies to colleges outside of the United States. I don't know. You can create a soundtrack with loops and export that to Final Cut Pro, but you need Logic Pro. That's right. Just sign up for the year. It's like $10.83, right, per month. That's what I'm saying, too. It completely depends on how premium the premium content is. That would be the only thing that might get me. I'm not going to subscribe for Final Cut Pro or any other stuff. I have Motion, I have Compressor, I have Logic Pro. I don't have Main Stage or whatever that thing is, Live Stage, whatever that is. Don't have any of the iPad versions. So if the premium content is premium and I like it, they might have me. So do we think the standalone versions will also come to the iPad? No, I haven't seen anything about that. I'm fine to pay once to get Pixelmator Pro on iPad because I did some on my Mac. So do you rather do Pixelmator Pro on your iPad rather than, I mean, the pencil's nice if you're drawing and stuff, rather than the Mac? I use it on the Mac. No, they're not going to get, there's been no mention that that's going to happen. The only thing is you can no longer get Final Cut on the iPad or Logic Pro on the iPad. You can't get either one of those anymore. You have to go with the subscription to get those. Just to be clear, the one-time purchase Final Cut Pro will have all, yes, 100%, the AI features the subscription will have. Yes. Absolutely. I've confirmed that with from the source. Yes, it will have 100%. They're going to be identical. Only premium content, titles, maybe some templates, maybe some effects, that kind of stuff. Transitions. Premium, though, the regular stock ones are going to be available in both, but the premium ones are only going to be available with subscription. Whew. Dodged a bullet here. Yesterday, I was a little more concerned than I am today after I've confirmed some things. So, yes, it will. I don't know why you're saying nope. Yes, it will. To be clear, the one-time purchase Final Cut Pro will have all the AI features the subscription have. Yes. It's going to have text search. It's going to have a visual search. It's going to have whatever that third thing is from Logic. It's going to have all that stuff. Just not going to have premium content. So I'm not sure why this person said nope. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Same of all the AI features the subscription will have. Yes, absolutely. I'm not sure what financing the Creator Studio subscription. 1, eliminate the weekly Wednesday $3.99 Whopper. 2, reduce number of Krispy Kreme donuts. Very funny. Very, very funny. Yeah, just give up a latte. I mean, listen, you know I'm not a big fan of subscriptions, but there's a few things that I don't mind subscribing to. If the content is really premium, I'm going to be tempted to subscribe. I'm certainly going to try out the 30-day trial. And you can always cancel before the 30 days are up if you don't like it. In a sense, the Apple Creative Studio is a slam at Adobe and price-wise, plus easy to cancel. Yes, it's simple to cancel. You just pick up your phone, you go to Settings. Let me see what it is. Settings, iCloud. Let me see. Settings, no. Yeah. So you just go to Settings, click on your picture at the top, and you go to Subscriptions. And it's that simple. You have all your subscriptions there. What the heck? Yeah, so I got Apple TV, for example. You subscribe at the promotional price of $5.99 per month for 6 months. So I got Apple TV right here for $5.99 for a month for 6 months. It's a no-brainer. Apple TV has fantastic quality movies and series and stuff. $12.99, not so much. $5.99, yes, absolutely. And I'll catch up all my shows and then I'll unsubscribe. But the old version who pays years ago, why must I pay again? You don't have to pay again. You don't have to pay again. You can continue to use the version you already paid for. It's going to be updated the same as the subscription version. They're going to be, those two versions of Final Cut are going to be exactly the same. Both are going to have exactly the same AI features. It's just the subscription is going to have some premium titles and some premium, maybe it'll have one of those, you know, the way you have to, if you want to download video clips, you have to have a subscription service. Like in LumaFusion, it's called Storyblocks. If you want to download those video files to use in your project, you have to pay a subscription each month. I think it's going to be stuff like that. They're calling it premium content, not premium features. The features are the same in both versions. You don't have to pay for that. You don't have to pay for that. If you want the premium titles, The premium clips, the premium, whatever else is premium, you're going to have to subscribe to get those. So do you know if we will be able to use the premium content in the standalone version while on a subscription without having to download the version in the subscription? I think you're going to have to use the premium content in the subscription version of Final Cut. I'm pretty sure you're going to have to. If you open it up in the other version, I think it's going to say, hey, go get the other version of Final Cut. That's what I would think, because that way the subscription can keep track of whether you're subscribed or not. The standalone version of Final Cut doesn't do that so far. Now, whether 12 does or not, I don't know, but I think you're going to have to. I'll ask a couple of these questions. I'll ask about that. Well, we'll see. I'd like the Pixelmator Pro on my iPad because it's easier to take with me. Absolutely. I've missed mobile photo editing RAWs since I switched from Lightroom. Completely understand. That makes complete sense. Plus, the pencil is probably pretty cool. I wonder if the Final Cut Pro iPad music content and cut to length feature will come to Final Cut Pro subscription as a premium content feature. It'll be on the Final Cut for iPad. But if you got a subscription, you get that included. I don't think Apple is bringing Pro mixing inside Final Cut Pro. They have a mixing board in Final Cut Pro. They haven't released it yet. Anymore, and Logic Pro is getting sound post features. Logic Pro was never intended to have sound, to have post features. Logic Pro is a music app. Logic Pro always has been a music app. It's never been sold as anything else. It's a music creation app. Now, I use it for podcast editing because it's better for me for long form stuff than doing it in Final Cut. You get 3 months free if you buy a $3,500 laptop or a $1,200 iPad. That's correct. In fact, I think they are letting DaVinci Resolve be their recommended software for pro work. Who saw their Apple developer videos on YouTube? When they hire a company, Apple, to produce a video for them, the company can use whatever software they want. Apple doesn't say, oh, you got to use Final Cut Pro if you want this job. It's just the way they work. If somebody in Apple is producing a video, you better believe it's Final Cut Pro. Bill Davis did the promo video in 2024 when they had those promo videos out for Final Cut Pro before the Creative Summit. Of course, they edited those in Final Cut Pro, but Apple doesn't make you use Final Cut Pro if you use another app. Yeah, that subscription item doesn't show up when searching for a subscription. It's not out yet. It's not out till January the 28th. So, will new version work without internet access? Not initially. Not initially. You're going to have to, once you subscribe, it might. But not initially. You're going to need internet access in order to subscribe. After that, I don't know. That's another good question. Let me ask these questions since I have somebody's ear. What was the other question? Internet access for subscription version. I will ask that. And there was another question I was going to ask. You have to remind me what the other one was. Thanks for explaining. No problem whatsoever. Thank you for tuning in, Alessandro. Well, for one, I'm looking forward to the new MacBook Pro. So am I, the M5. I've been reading about it, and even more so, new MacBook Pro and new versions of the ProApps, and I know and love. Who knows what that may be? Who knows, maybe that premium content will be worth investing. Time will tell. Thank you, Richard, for your dedication and keeping us informed. Thank you, Jason. That's very, very nice. Very nice comment. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I would assume the next version of DaVinci will also be a subscription. It will not be subscription. No. Grant Petty, no subscriptions. Grant Petty does not like subscriptions. The head of DaVinci Resolve. They are going to charge. They probably. I have this right here. I'll give you the quote. They are probably going to charge for a future version of DaVinci Resolve. Grant Petty last year said they're probably going to be charging for an upgrade to DaVinci Resolve Studio. No subscriptions. Grant Petty does not like subscriptions. No. Charging for a new version of Studio? Yes. That's very likely. Probably with this next version coming out at NAB. 21, DaVinci Resolve 21. I think Apple gives two options. Premium contents from an Apple subscription or get similar offers, but from third places as before. Right, you can subscribe. How many of you subscribe to other plugins instead of buying them outright? I mean, I know they exist, so. Plugin dependency needs to be more easily discoverable, more than just a vague warning on export. Okay, but you have to assume some of that responsibility, don't you? To know whether you're subscribed to plugins or not. Final Cut Pro is absolutely suited for pro work. Most high-end jobs aren't done in a single app anyway. They send to other departments for color and sound, for example. That's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. So... Listen, yesterday I was more concerned with this whole situation, and they do have Final Cut Pro is still pro. They still have dropped the reference to Playgrounds. Playgrounds is not a word that you should be using in your description of any of the pro apps. It's Playgrounds are for kids, for children. That should be out. Missing in all this is cloud collaboration. This is something that Adobe has. Resolve has a cloud subscription, even if the app is free or one-time pay. Well, that's a feature, yes, that we would like to see. Absolutely. Yes, Final Cut Pro absolutely needs to provide a solution for native collaboration to take a bite out of the higher-end market. Yeah, maybe that'll be in the subscription. I don't know. Maybe that'll be part of the subscription. I mean, this is the beginning. Look, they went from 11 to 12 in, let me see, 2024, we got 11. 16 months. 16 months. Well, FC plug broke plugins for Final Cut Pro 12. Once again, back up your current version of Final Cut Pro. If you use plugins that work in Final Cut Pro 11, make a backup copy of Final Cut Pro 11, because there's no guarantee that the plugins will work in Final Cut Pro 12. That's always an issue. That's why you make a backup. I make a backup not only of Final Cut Pro, I make a backup of my operating system. I make a backup of my operating system so I can boot into that if I ever have to and use a plugin or something that's not available in Final Cut Pro 12. Do you think the DaVinci upgrade will be $129.99? It could be, but I think more like the $99.99. If you've already paid for DaVinci Resolve, you paid $299, or if you paid that much, I think an upgrade of $100 every so many years is fine. I would do the same with Final Cut Pro. I paid $299 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago. I would not have minded paying $100 every now and then for future upgrades. Not a problem. I hear we'll be getting a roles-based mixer in 2049. Oh my goodness. They have a roles-based mixer. It just hasn't worked out yet, so we'll have to see. iPhone's photo cutout feature, when you long press on a photo, it's called Playground, so that masking feature is included in Final Cut Pro, but it's just the word playground. Can't you come up with a better word? Playground is for kids. It's like Tricks is for kids, if you're old enough to remember that commercial. The rabbit. Tricks is for kids. Playground is a kid's word. You shouldn't be using that. It's not play. It's not a playground. I mean, think of a better word for professional levels. Apple is absolutely going after creators with Creator Studio. But Final Cut Pro is still Pro. Logic Pro is still Pro. Both of those apps are still Pro. Motion is Pro, although I don't use Motion that often. Kitty Cats, what do you think about the new version of Final Cut? They don't seem too impressed. They're not really that interested. They're interested in taking a nap during the day, taking their little sun bath. The sun rises, and when it rises on from the east, it's sunlight that comes in there, and they have sunlight in the afternoon as well. But they like to sleep, and then at nighttime they're up more, which I think is normal for cats. Make your boldest prediction for Final Cut for Apple Creator Studio 5 years from now. Boy, I tell you, I couldn't really. I think it'll edit the video for you. I think AI will edit the video for you and put the stuff in there, and it'll edit it for you, and you just tweak it. AI will take care of all that. I think Final Cut Pro make app call plugins versions fixer to match FCP FX version. Yes, that's right. So I did. Well, that's actually my girlfriend does that. My partner, Jane, does that. She puts the Christmas tree's her thing. I like it, but she takes care of that. We have a division of labor around here. I take care of everything outside. Blowing the snow, mowing the grass, doing the leaves, splitting the wood for the wood-burning stove, and she takes care of cooking inside, and she does artwork, incredible artwork. She's an incredible artist and stuff. I think she's at art class right now. But that was something that she got, and she did it. So, yeah, I think she has to figure out where we're going to store it before she puts it away. So. Any more questions? We got a lot of people watching. Did I answer all your questions? We got a lot of thumbs up today. Thumbs up today. Thank you very much. I do want to give this out to the Final Cut Pro team. This is something that, now that we've gotten some more information about Apple Creator Studio, now that we get more information, as long as you keep updating my version of Final Cut Pro, that's the main thing. So there's feature parity between the two versions, which has been confirmed. The standalone version of Final Cut Pro and the subscription version of Final Cut Pro are going to have feature parity. All the features are going to be the same, including AI. What's going to be different is the subscription version is going to have some premium content, some premium titles. Maybe it's going to have video like story blocks where you get, sound library, a video library, you can download clips. That's a subscription anyway. Everybody has that. What camera do you use for your cat cam? It's Mevo. Mevo, it's specifically a live streaming camera. I've had it for years. It works pretty flawlessly. I'm going to bring it to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit if they're going to do the same thing they've done in the past, which is they have a one exhibitor event where they have food and exhibitors have all their wares out there and everybody walks around, talks to the exhibitors. And I do a live stream from there usually, so I'll use the Mevo cam for that because it's a great little streaming camera. It's just right from itself. All you have to do is log into the same Wi-Fi connection. My Mac has to be on the same Wi-Fi as the Mevo cam, and the connection's great. It's stable. It's really, really good. So I got that. And my main camera that I'm using is a Lumix GH5. Lumix GH5. Any news about NAB and Final Cut Pro Creative Summit? Seen some conflict there. So no, the Creative Summit is going to have a Final Cut Pro track. I mean, the NAB is going to have a Final Cut Pro track. They've always had Final Cut Pro tracks. All the time they have Final Cut Pro tracks. This seems like it's a special, more Apple involved Final Cut Pro track. It's not the Creative Summit. It's not the Creative Summit. They can't do a Creative Summit at NAB. NAB is too vast. It's too spread out. There's 1,000 things to look at. Look at this. Look at this. Look at DaVinci Resolve. Look at Adobe Premiere. Look at Avid. Look at this camera. Look at this microphone. That's what people go to NAB for. They don't go necessarily for Final Cut Pro. Now, I may go this year depending on what's going on with the Final Cut Pro track. I have to investigate that a little further. And would I go again? Yeah. I've always gotten sponsored to go to NAB. So if I can get the sponsorships, I would consider going back to NAB. Otherwise, it's $2,000 out of my pocket. I got better things to spend $2,000 on if there's no reason for me to go to NAB. Ben Broadbeck, my monthly Final Cut Pro fee has been $171.00 since June 2011. That's correct. It's pretty cheap if you divide up all those years by $299 or less. But we do have to keep feeding the Final. We got to keep Final Cut Pro and the ProApps team fed. So we got to keep giving them money. Yep, that's it. So, does that answer your questions? Did that help at all? And we got a lot of thumbs up today. Thank you very much. A lot of people watching too, 70 people right now. It's fantastic. Don't forget to subscribe over there in the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe and ring that bell. You can also follow me on Facebook. I don't accept friends. Here's my YouTube channel, at Richard Taylor TV. Oh, by the way, I've started a new Facebook group. Apple Creator Studio. Apple Creator Studio. I just started that this morning. I said, let me put up one. So facebook.com/groups Apple Creator Studio. And we just started over there. So it's not like it's, I don't know, we have 60, 70 people already, something like that. Let me do this. Oh, I don't want to do that, do I? Oh, here we go. Let's see how many people we have. 54 people already. So, there it is, Apple Creator Studio. 54 members have joined in the last 5 or 6 hours. So if you're interested in the Creator Studio specifically, this won't be all Final Cut Pro, but Final Cut Pro is dead center there. So it'll be a lot about Final Cut Pro. It'll be specifically about the Creator Studio, on Facebook if you want to join that. We already have 54 members. It's only existed since not even 12 hours yet. So we're just getting started. I got a feeling it's going to be an interesting adventure. So you can go over there to Apple Creator Studio groups, Apple Creator Studio over there on Facebook. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, you can certainly do that. I don't accept friend requests necessarily. I have to really know you before I do that. 43 watching on X. There's a lot of people. I've been broadcasting on X for a long time, for years, way before recently. I was on Periscope for years. The faith in Apple depend if they stick to what they tell you, the Creative Studio, and separate permanent Pro app license options. Interesting how Motion is behind Keynote in that graphic. I think Keynote's probably more popular than Motion. I mean, Motion is powerful, but it really takes a specific mindset to delve into Motion. I've done some Motion stuff, and I like their keyframe editor. So I see stuff on Facebook groups. I belong to half a dozen Final Cut Pro Facebook groups, a bunch of other ones. Now I started the Creator Studio Facebook group, and there's people are all over the place. There's some of the people are just confused, and really originally, like I said yesterday, we were in the fog of war initially, right? We were in the fog of war. And we don't really know anything. Remember, we got a lot of thumbs up today. Thank you so much. And now we know more. Now we know more about what's going on. I've got confirmation on everything I've told you is not I'm not just thinking that's what's happening. It's been confirmed. Everything I've told you today has been confirmed. Everything I've told you today has been confirmed. So. Wow, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm more relaxed. 24 hours, the fog of war is lifting. Got confirmation on some stuff. Your version of Final Cut Pro is going to be fine. It's going to have all the AI features that the subscription version has. Same app. You'll be able to exchange libraries from one to the other, back and forth. But if you want to use the premium content, I'm going to presume that you have to use the subscription version. That would just make sense. So I have two questions so far I'll be asking, and I'll get the answers back. Do you need internet access for the subscription version after the initial sign-up? That's one question. The second question, Final Cut Pro subscription version for the premium content, and I presume that answer is going to be yes. I presume that's going to be yes. I think you're going to need to use that version for the premium content. Otherwise, I don't think the standalone version of Final Cut can keep track. Final Cut Pro for Mac and iPad also makes editing video to the rhythm of music fast and fun with beat detection. Yes, it does. But here's the thing about that. I'm pretty sure the Final Cut Pro version only does beat detection on the beat. That's not necessarily how you want to do your cuts and stuff. Sometimes you want to go a little before the beat or a little bit after the beat, not exactly on the beat every single cut. Before or after. It's like they call it swing. Sometimes you want to do little adjustments. So you can do that in Logic. I don't think you can do that in Final Cut Pro. I think it does it exactly on the beat. If you can answer, is it them or do you have to try to reach other side? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I have direct contact with people that give me accurate answers. Surely one can turn off beat snapping, of course, of course. That is cool. Re-editing music to tracks to different lengths is also easier than ever. I think that's that in the iPad version. I don't know if it's in the Mac version. I don't know. I don't know if that's in the Mac version, but that is very cool to be able to edit music so it'll fit in a certain length. If you have a video, length. Listen, this is very cool. I'm much more excited about 12. 24 hours, we got to relax. We want to give accolades to the Final Cut Pro team for getting us version 12 coming out next week and making everything feature parity between the two versions. And what else was I going to say? Oh, I don't remember. A lot of people watching. I appreciate it. I mean, I did the one yesterday. I was a little bit just like everybody. I'm like, what's going on? Subscription, non-subscription. Then I reached out, got some answers, and beat detection, visual search, transcript search, and the magnetic mask and motion are all going to be available to the standalone version. Those are the major things. Might there be some other things? Sure. Might be a few more tricks in there. We don't know. 1 week from today, Final Cut Pro is coming out. Both versions, 1 week from today. 1 week from today. And, the new Apple Creator Studio app is going to have all the different apps and the different versions, the iPad version and the Mac version, and it's all going to be wrapped up in one major app. You have to download that. So I will try the subscription out to try this premium content. I will. Now, just like every article that I've seen written about the Apple Creative Studio, they're all just regurgitating what Apple's already told us, switching this around, switching that around. And that's fine. That's the only thing they have to go on. Everybody's repeating this exact same bullet points with maybe a little twist here and there. They won't be removing AI features from free to paid like Adobe did. No, I just told you they're going to. Well, first off, there's no free version. There's no free version. It's a paid version of Final Cut versus a subscription version. There's no free version of Final Cut, but I understand what you're saying. If you already own Final Cut, no, they're not removing AI features exactly. Yes, if I said a week, yes, I mean 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, we'll all be hitting the App Store, and I will at least try the 1 month trial to see. I want to see what the premium content is, and if it's worth it to pay that subscription. If I pay the subscription, it's not for Final Cut Pro. If I pay that subscription, it's entirely for the premium content. Period. That's what it would be for, as I do other subscriptions that I agree with. All right? Not Final Cut Pro. I don't care if the money goes to Final Cut Pro, but that's fine because they need the money. But you got to keep the team going. You got to keep, everybody's going. Fantastic. Have I answered your questions? On January 28th, the Apple server will run very hot. Servers, I'm sure it'll be servers. Yes, it'll be a lot of activity. A lot of activity. Can you imagine being a youngster, just say you're just entering college, and this is your first exposure to Final Cut Pro? That would be amazing. I mean, I've been using Final Cut Pro since 1999, probably, the first versions, and then the 2011 Final Cut Pro 10. And we've been using it all along. Our friend Ben just got here. What did I miss from yesterday? Just kidding, of course. You have to rewatch. Good news, Ben. Both versions of Final Cut Pro, the standalone and subscription, have the same AI features. There's no features eliminated from the subscription to the standalone version. The only thing that's missing, you're going to have to subscribe if you want premium content. What that means? Fancy titles, premium titles, maybe premium. You know, there's subscription services like Storyblocks where you got to subscribe to be able to use video clips in your project or music in your project. Maybe some of that's going to be in there, but that you're going to subscribe to that anyway, aren't you? I mean, if you're subscribing for that kind of stuff, you're just doing it in Final Cut. And the other good thing is you're going to get the iPad version of Final Cut and Logic Pro and Pixelmator Pro. So all in all, it's a pretty good price. Actually, to be fair, Adobe moved from bundled to metered. I'm not sure what the heck metered means. What the heck is that? Bundled, I understand. I don't know what metered means. Adobe's not been on my radar. I don't like their subscription model at all. There they are. There's Miss Amanda Jones, named after Miss Amanda Jones from the Rolling Stones song. And there's Lucinda, Lucy. Lucy's the orange cat. There are two girls. We have two girls inside, and we got three community cat boys outside, and they stay on we have a sunroom with a cat door, and they stay in there for the most part. Oh, I see. You get credits free, but if you exceed the monthly credits, you can pay for more. So the metered is for credits. I see. Is that better? I don't know how metered. I guess I don't know how that works. I have no idea. Pixelmator being dropped on all platforms, and Pixelmator Pro and Photometer will be the only two from that family, and both on Mac OS and iOS. Yeah, I don't do any hand drawing, so I use Pixelmator Pro on my Mac Mini. Oh, I see. Lots of stock media sites give you a set of credits per month. You can buy more if you need it. That's exactly what I expect the premium content is, stuff like that. Stock media. That's one of the things, but I know for a fact it's going to be titles and stuff. It's going to be titles and stuff. Good point. This should be a big magnet to dispel the myth that Mac software is out of reach and owning a Mac comes with Apple tax compared to a PC. This is a good value proposition. Listen, I've never owned a PC. And the only time I used a PC in my ever since 1999 is when I had to, when I worked for the government. And initially, when I went to learn web design and video editing, the college had PCs, but I've never owned one. Most editors I know are using AI more for stock media anyway. I'm starting to use AI a lot now too. So, yeah, And those are subscription or metered credits, whatever you get. So we'll see. 2 weeks, everybody that wants it gets Final Cut Pro 12. We went from 11 to 12, but we skipped a lot. We skipped 11.2, 3, 11.4, 11.5, 11.6. We jumped from 11.2, boing, all the way up to 12. That's pretty quick. 16 months, 15 months, whatever it is. We got 11 in November 2024, and we're getting 12 in January 2026. So it's like 15 or 16 months. But anyway, listen, that's fine. As long as there's feature parity between those two versions of Final Cut Pro, that's what I mainly care about. Feature parity, don't hold any features back. They're not holding any features back. If you hear somebody tell you that, it's nonsense. It's incorrect. I think a couple of the Mac sites, one particular, kept saying, oh, subscription's holding premium features back. No, it's not. And I kept typing in there, no, it's not. That is absolutely incorrect. Premium content, not premium features. I like the article was optimistic about Apple giving ProApps more love and updates now. That would be nice, but we'll wait to see what actually happens. That's right. Talk versus walk. I don't pay attention to talk. I'm interested in walk. If Apple eventually add an InDesign Affinity publisher like the app, that would be a great addition to Studio. I think the Studio possibly could grow. That's who it was. Mac Rumors claims features will be cut out of standalone. Worst article I've ever seen written. I think they're the ones I'm talking about. They kept saying they're holding features back, premium features. No, they're not. It's completely wrong. Do your research. This is why people don't trust sites like that. Very few updates from 11 to 12. There can be unlimited revisions between versions. 11.1.2 was possible to exist. Canva bought out Affinity. There you go. Canva bought out Affinity. Well, I have all of you people here. You're new, subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. While you're here, and the channel is youtube.com/RichardTaylorTV. Please subscribe. And we're here every Saturday. Longtime watchers, listeners know that. Final Cut TV's been on 3 years. I think we've been going on 3 years. Every Saturday, I maybe skipped 1 or 2, but I've been on for 3 years. Every Saturday, usually around 10 o'clock. 11.12.0. 11.12.0. No, there's no 11.12, so it's 12. 12.0. 12.0. I'm not sure. I'm missing something there. All righty. And then we have, if you want to join the Facebook group, Facebook.com groups, Apple Creator Studio. It just went live this morning. We're going to read just Apple Creator Studio stuff. It's going to be probably a lot of Final Cut Pro, but there might be some Final Cut for the iPad, might be some Motion, might be some Logic. It's covering the whole Creative Studio, Creator Studio. So we'll see what the numbers don't stop at 9. No, they didn't, because Final Cut Pro 10.4.11, 10.4.10 or 11. Yes, I remember that. We got that update in August one year. We got an update in August, at the end of August, with features. It was completely unexpected. Thank you very much for the lots of 17 thumbs up so far. Can we get to 20? Let's see if we can get to 20 thumbs up. You guys got it, especially over now. The X platform has a lot of viewers, but not any thumbs up. I don't know how they register thumbs up over there. Off topic, what guitar do you like playing the most? Well, it's a Strat. Stratocaster. I have two Strats. That one. This is a 69 Strat that I've modified. That one is, I think, it's either a 71. I think it's a 71 Strat. So Strats are my favorite, but I also have I don't have a Les Paul. I have a The Paul, which is like they call it the Firebrand. Here we go, almost 20. Firebrand version of a Les Paul. It's like a mahogany finish. I love rock and roll music. Hearts on X. So there you go. Hearts on X. There's Hearts on X. Very cool. Standard Strat, man. Cool. I'm rebuilding an old bass at the moment. Okay, Harchester for Mac webcams. All right, brief summary. What did I miss on Apple Creator Studio? Both versions of Final Cut Pro, the subscription version and the standalone version, are going to have exactly the same feature updates. That's the main thing. AI features are going to be exactly the same on both versions. There's going to be no difference between the two. You will be able to exchange libraries between the two, from one to the other, one to the other. If you use premium content in this subscription version, if that will not transfer to the standalone version, I don't think. I think you have to use the subscription version if you want to use premium content. Now, you try it out for 30 days. I'm going to try it out. I absolutely am going to try it out on January the 28th for 30 days. So we get it for 1 month. You can always cancel the subscription if you don't want it. But if the premium content is that good, I'll be tempted to at least subscribe some of the time. Two-handed heart gesture where the red hearts fly out from the center of the gesture. Very cool. Yeah, I just don't see. I can see the people, 48 people watching on X right now, a bunch of people on YouTube and some people on Facebook, and both Facebook and YouTube show me the thumbs up. 19 thumbs up. I don't see anything. I see the viewers on X, but I can't see the there we go. We just got 20. Congratulations. Thank you very much. All you. Fantastic. We got to 20 thumbs up. Yes, this is what I think. If you open a library in standalone that contains premium content, I'll assume you get the missing content icon. It's probably exactly. Or a new icon that means you're in the wrong version or something. Yes. Yes, that's what I think. I think this. If you want to use the premium content, you got to stay on the subscription model. I don't think you can transfer that over to. You can export a movie, but I don't think you can use that on the standalone. For me, $13 for regular updates is huge and basic compared to Adobe, but the standalone gets the same updates without paying $13. The standalone version of Final Cut Pro that you already paid for gets the exact same updates as the subscription. without paying $13 a month. So keep that in mind. I wonder if by premium content, they're going to compete with Motion VFX. Maybe Motion VFX is supplying some of that premium content. I think maybe third parties might be supplying some of it. I don't think it's all in-house, created by Apple. We'll have to see. Certainly the story blocks, what do they call that? Stock media. If stock media is available, premium stock media, that is going to be third party, I presume. I remember when I turned 20, sort of wish I didn't. Great. Motion VFX has a couple dozen competitors, so I don't think that's an issue. I chat from X, but watch on YouTube. I thumb up on YouTube. I had tried to heart like an expert. It probably doesn't report back to you. No, there's no, just the number. 48, 49 people are watching from the X platform, but there's no icon for the number of thumbs up or whatever. But anyway, we got 20 thumbs up today for today's live stream. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Really, really appreciate everybody tuning in and watching. I think the one yesterday, I kept saying fog of war, because I felt that I was in a fog of war. I didn't know the answers. It was a little frustrating. Now we know. I've got confirmation on everything I've told you. Main thing is the two versions of Final Cut Pro have feature parity. Some of the fog has cleared. I think at this point, yes, some of it, but it seems like a lot is cleared. I feel better today. I was a little aggravated yesterday. I think you handled yesterday really well, very clear-headed. It was tough. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. It felt that way. It was frustrating. I had reached out to people for clarification, and I got the clarification today. Not only that, but I also can ask more questions. They said, if you have more questions, please. So I'm writing the questions down, and we'll find out. I don't intend to do another one tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. No, we'll wait till Saturday at 10 o'clock, and then we have to wait for 2 more weeks. But please, let's give the Final Cut Pro team a round of applause. They watched this live stream. Yesterday was a little bit hard because it was a complete surprise, unexpected by me. Is this first Apple is open so before major launch and update? Well, I think they were getting feedback and it wasn't all positive, and I think they wanted to get ahead of that. Very, very cool. Very cool that they're doing that. I initially was ready to hit somebody, of course, somebody who runs slower than me. Never hit somebody who runs faster than you. What was that famous quote? You don't have to outrun the bear. All you have to do is outrun one of the people that the bear's chasing. Something like that. I forget what the quote is. The idea is you don't have to outrun the bear. All you have to do is outrun the person, somebody else who's with you, because the bear's going to get them. I'm sure Apple is aware of popular opinions and is giving clarification. I think they got a lot of instant social media. What are you doing? You know, what's going to happen? They clarified it. They've clarified it. Apple has done previews of new Final Cut Pro releases in the past, but only a couple of times. It's been rare. Yes, they did at the Creative Summit for 10.4.4. They showed it to us in November, and it wasn't coming out till December, for example. And we could talk about it. One thing about the Creative Summit is when we go to get this exclusive Apple content, they always let us talk about it on social media immediately. They always do that. So that's really, really cool. There you go. You don't have to run faster than the bear to get away. You just have to run faster than the guy next to you. Exactly. I remember when I first heard that, I think it was Scott Adams or somebody who said that. And it was very funny. Looking forward to reading the release notes in 2 weeks. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, we already know the three main features. The three main features are beat detection, visual search, and transcript search. Those are the three main features. Over under on the number of features. Well, those are the three main features. So what happens beyond that? Maybe a couple more features, some smaller improvements. Who the heck knows? Maybe we'll get the ability to place an icon in that blank top of the timeline bar. We'll have to see how that goes. We will have to see how that goes. Last Creator Summit I attended, I was co-writing a review for Mac Pro Video on the new release, and we were so pressed for time, lots of pressure, but it was fun, absolutely. Will there be 12 of them? I don't think so. Color code clips, absolutely. Some small things. I mean, I don't think we're going to get a mixer this time, unfortunately, because they didn't announce it, but color code clips. Logic Pro, that is so cool. I get this hour-and-a-half long timeline, and I can select clips and instantly color code them. Select clips, color code. I don't have to go through the roles menu and create a new role color and all that. I just select color code. Select color code. Option C brings up the color palette. So, yeah, color code clips, absolutely. Both in the browser and the timeline. Both. They also update Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro websites before launch with many details, too. The Final Cut Pro is already updated. They already have the updates in there. They don't say they're new. They just included them. Apple should learn from Sweetwater Sound. They give you candy with your order. I've gone back to some older Sweetwater Sound things that I have, and I go in there and there's candy in there. There we go. All these hearts from the X platform. Fantastic. Fantastic. Color coding with emojis. Well, yeah, but you're using the color. You're not using the emoji. But I know what you're saying. People do that. I would love multiple timelines and AI music trim like DaVinci. I'm not sure about the music trim. I'd like to see dual timelines for sure. Not only does DaVinci have dual timelines, DaVinci has dual browsers. You can have two different folders opened up in two different windows. You can have dual browser window, one over the other. And in this browser window, you have one folder opened up with clips. And in this browser window, you have another folder opened up with clips you can drag and drop between the two, etc. Yeah, DaVinci has that. That would be very, very cool. Color-coded hearts? What are you trying to tell us? Really, absolutely. Absolutely. All righty, we're approaching the 2-hour mark. We got 6 minutes till 2 hours, and then I'm going to get out of here. 2 hours is enough. I mean, listen, I'm used to being on stage. As a musician, I was on stage for years and years and years. Used to talking to audiences. It comes very natural to me, which is why I talk to everybody here. I sincerely appreciate everybody showing up for these. I mean, Final Cut Pro is one of the things I have a lot of passion about. Also, animal rescue. Also, original rock and roll roots rock music. I love that gritty, original roots rock stuff. I really like that. Thank you for everything, Richard. Thank you, Ben, for showing up every week. I really appreciate it. Better color grading options. Yes. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I do these things because I like Final Cut Pro and I'm passionate about it. But when people say that they appreciate it as well and they say thank you, it makes a difference. I mean, it just gives me more incentive. Let's see what our cats are doing. Oh, there, one's up looking out the window. They watch for squirrels to go by. Sometimes one of the outdoor cats goes by through the window so they can see them. And there's a road out there. They can watch the traffic. And the other cat's sleeping. I can see Lucy's up there sleeping. All righty. Always enjoy these streams. Always appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you're new to the stream, if you're new to these live streams, we're here every Saturday at 10 o'clock. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell over there in the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is at Richard Taylor TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. Absolutely. Thank you, Richard. We may sleep better tonight. No doctor needed. Yes. Hopefully it's brought the temperature down for what's going on. If anybody says things on the Facebook group or on X or something, or in one of the other forums, point them to the live stream. Say, no, you're wrong. Both features of both versions of Final Cut Pro are going to be feature for feature going to be identical. Yeah, yes. But they clarified it within 24 hours. That's the good thing. Apple has clarified what's going on within 24 hours, which is cool. Feature parity. Yes, feature parity. Both versions are going to have feature parity. They're going to have exactly the same features. If one version has AI, the other version has AI feature. AI feature 2, AI feature 2. Both versions of Final Cut are going to have feature parity. So you don't have to subscribe. If you've already bought Final Cut Pro, you're going to have the same features as the subscription version. Period. If you want premium content, you have to subscribe. That's all there is to it. But that's, we do subscribe. I'm just not subscribing to Final Cut Pro. If I subscribe, it's going to be for the premium content. We'll see. I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try on January the 28th and see. Listen, January the 28th, there's going to be an explosion of the usual suspects putting out tutorials on Final Cut Pro 12. There's a heart. Now, where did that heart come from? Oh, there we go. That's on Facebook. Oh, that's very cool. That's all. We got 20 thumbs up and a heart. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, what do they do that? You can always, there's something you can do on YouTube. I forget what it is. But probably still not desktop and iPad versions. You mean feature parity? No, there's not going to be that. Time for bagels and coffee. Absolutely. You can go to buymeacoffee.com and buy me a coffee if you feel like it. That's fine. You can also do one of the super chats in YouTube, I think. If you want to do a super chat and send me a little bit of money for coffee or something, you can do it on YouTube. I don't think you can do it on Facebook or X, I don't think. But on YouTube, you can do a super chat. Send me money for a coffee. That'd be fine. Or go to buymeacoffee.com. Ian Anderson, that's who I was co-writing that review with. He was a blast to work with. Absolutely. 2 hearts on X now. We've got a lot of people watching. Go on, say it. What am I going to say? I'm missing that. Buymeacoffee.com/Richard Taylor or Taylor, whatever the heck it is. And you can do super chats on YouTube as well. Let me see something here. I guess I could. There's a lot of. Very cool. Watching from London, UK, absolutely. Thank you for tuning in. What do you do over there in London, UK? What kind of video editing did you do? The link to buy me a coffee for you. Let me go up there. I'll go put it up since you asked me. It's buymeacoffee.com. Let me go log in. Wow, I got $25 in the last 30 days. I didn't even realize that. Thank you very much. Here we go. Copy. So the Buy Me a Coffee is, I don't have the TV at the end of Richard Taylor. It's just buymeacoffee.com, Richard Taylor. It's not the TV like I normally do. All right. Okay, back to work. Got to go train people to know how to handle their dogs. The dogs really appreciate it too. You have a good rest of your week. See everybody Saturday. Be well. Thanks, Richard. Thank you, Ben, for tuning in again. So Navid said he's a news editor for local channel. Use old Avid systems. Yes, I use an Avid system too. Yeah, with subscription, you'll also see premium versions of Keynote. Not premium versions. You get to get the same Keynote pages, numbers, and freeform with AI capabilities and premium content. Premium content. They're going to have, see, this is the other thing. If you use, Keynote's a great app. I use Keynote. I don't use pages. I use numbers, but I use Keynote for, even for video. I do sometimes slideshows with, that's true. That's true. It's going to be, that's true. It's going to be extra. Yes. So when you look at it, if you use Keynote, if you use Motion, if you use Logic Pro, if you use, compressor and stuff, but mainly Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro, those are the two that I use more than anything. I already own them. I don't have to subscribe. I will try the trial. There's no harm in trying the trial, is there? None whatsoever. No harm in trying the trial. So, no harm whatsoever. So everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back here. I don't anticipate being on anymore this week. We'll be back here Saturday, and I'll have an answer to a couple of your questions that you asked that I didn't know the answers to, and we'll have a good time. Saturday, 10 o'clock, and subscribe over there. Over there. Where are you going to subscribe? You're going to subscribe here. YouTube.com, Richard Taylor TV. I appreciate each and every one of you. Absolutely. For the Final Cut Pro, this is for Final Cut Pro team and for all the viewers that keep coming back and watching this channel. Each and every one of you, thank you very much for tuning in. Absolutely. I'm going to get out of here, get back, finish up with the rest of my weekend. You're the best. You are all the best. I hope I've answered your questions. You can come back to the YouTube version of the video. You can continue to ask questions there. We'll try to answer them. Thank you very much. We'll try to answer them the best we can with the Facebook group as well. I believe I will consider DaVinci. I only use Final Cut Pro. What do you think? Use both. DaVinci is a great NLE. I typically go to Final Cut first because it's just very fast and very easy for me to edit there. But I go to DaVinci as well. DaVinci is a great, great NLE. Try the free version of DaVinci and see if you like it. That's what I'd recommend. See you Saturday. Thank you very much, everyone. We've been on for 2 hours and 5 minutes, more than anybody else doing live streams for Final Cut Pro. Thank you, everybody. If I don't see you before that, I don't anticipate I'll see you Saturday.